Dude, let's record.
All right, let's do it.
Are they both going right now? Mm-hmm. Okay. Jacoby, you suck for missing this.
Yeah. What the hell? All
Totally
right.
kidding.
Hook, Slice, and Speak.
Episode 9.
9. We just figured that out.
We had to do some math.
Yeah. And you'll notice, well, maybe you won't notice, but there's someone missing this week.
Our trifecta is down to a duo.
I know. It feels weird, honestly, recording in a room with no people. But hey, Jacoby's gone this week.
Usually Kobe's our audience, and
I
he
know.
can laugh at all of our jokes.
Yeah.
Now
Now we're
he's
just
not
going to be
here.
laughing at each other.
It's going to look weird, but everybody at home will appreciate it.
That's right. That's right. Jacoby's gone this week. He's doing his seminar for the PGA. So
Good for him.
Congrats to him for getting that done.
Hell yeah.
It can be kind of a pain in the butt to get all that stuff done, but he's
Been
working
doing
on
it all
through.
week too, right? Like
Yeah.
all day, every day this
Those
week.
seminars are basically 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Sounds awful.
It's actually for someone that enjoys being in the golf business, it's a lot of fun, obviously. And me and Jacoby both obviously really like our jobs.
Is it a guy just preaching to you on Zoom basically and just talking and do they switch it up and do different segments and stuff kind of like we do? Or
Yeah. So basically how it works is they'll pick their topics that are in the different levels. So level 1 is a lot of tournament stuff, a lot of
Sure.
merchandising stuff.
Sure.
So they'll kind of break it apart like that. And then it's 5 days long. The first 3 days are all facility stuff, so that kind of stuff. And then the next 2 days are teaching and coaching. So
Okay.
they'll go through it actually kind of surprised me. Teaching and coaching is more the teaching business. How do you attract more customers to your lessons, that kind of
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
And it's less of you teach somebody this way.
Right.
Because I think they kind of
everybody's got a different swing,
Right.
right? You kind of have to work with your client.
for sure. And it's all about kind of knowing how people learn more than
Sure.
just how to teach them to
Sure.
play golf. So yeah, it's very helpful and it's very fun. It's cool to meet all those people. So yeah.
I want to see Jacoby teaching people the old power fade move, dude. Get him going on that power fade.
The old slice.
That's right.
I didn't want to say
Poor
it, but
Jacoby.
I felt like I had to.
You had to tease him while he's not here.
Yeah. Should we head to Tour Talk?
Tour talk, let's do it, dude.
First segment this week.
What a crazy week on the PGA Tour.
Oh my gosh. It was so fun to watch.
It was amazing to watch.
Yeah.
I thought Wyndham was going to win,
I did too.
but I think his downfall was he could not find the fairway off the tee.
Yeah.
He had problems driving the ball.
He did. And I remember watching the first part of his round, and he just he was making the most scrambly pars that I've ever
totally,
seen in my
dude.
life.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's impressive, but if he could put it in the fairway, he would be
That guy's going to be
making some birdies.
He's going to give Scotty Scheffler a run for his money.
I think so. I think him and Scotty, so Wyndham and Scotty, and then, I mean, they're really just kind of the only two that I feel are up there right
Yeah.
now.
They could be like the next Tiger and Phil kind of going at it here.
Yeah, I mean, if they keep doing this for another 5 years, then
Maybe
they'll
like 10
be halfway
years,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Right. But it was just an exciting week on tour.
It was.
The leaderboard was jam-packed. I mean, Xander was right there. And, I mean, there was a whole bunch of guys that are well-known guys right on the top of the leaderboard.
For sure.
So it just made for a really exciting back nine.
Absolutely. Coming down the stretch, it was a super fun tournament to watch. And for some reason, I couldn't put a pin on it, but the actual broadcast itself just seemed better this week. I don't know what it was.
I know.
Maybe it was less commercials or something.
I did see Max Homa tweeted out something about there being less commercials, he thought.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was a thing from NBC or...
I guess.
And I know the guys at Barstool, they're always the Foreplay Pod boys, they're always harping on golf media to say less commercials, more golf.
They do that. And I feel like I did see something where they said there was less commercials this week, and it showed. Honestly, it did, because I thought it was a really good event to watch, and yeah, I enjoyed watching it. All the way through the end.
Scotty going back-to-back, in back-to-back weeks and back-to-back players.
Yeah.
He's got to be the favorite to win the Masters and
He's
dominate
my pick.
everybody this
He's my
year.
pick for sure. It wasn't your pick, Will Zalatoris, back in the day?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Willie Z, baby.
Are you?
Yeah,
I like
I'm
it.
sticking with Willie Z.
I like it. He's up there too. He's playing really well right now. I don't know. Did he play this week?
I think he did. I don't know what he did at the Players.
Really hear anything about him. We got to talk about Matt Fitzpatrick though.
I know.
What a crazy story.
How as you've said, as analytical of a guy as he is,
He's kept track of every shot since he was 15 years old.
He's probably
got to
gotta-
keep track of a dang weight in his driver.
how does he forget that for
don't know.
a year and a half?
I don't know.
And it's mind-boggling how you can let that happen.
And it was so funny how well he was hitting it off the tee this week.
Yeah, when you get rid of something that's in there.
Yeah. Goes to show how well you should get fit, because
Goes
if
back
you
to our
have that
talks,
smallest
yeah.
change, like it's only 4 grams, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but it makes a big difference.
4
So,
grams to me sounds like a lot, especially in a weight, because it was in the handle too, right? Like it was
Yep,
up
it was
towards
in
the
the grip.
top. It wasn't down in your club head.
Right.
In your club head, I know I would feel that, but even in my grip, I would feel
For sure.
extra 4 grams.
And it's going to make your club feel much lighter because there's more weight in your hands, so the shaft's going to feel a lot lighter. I mean, I'm glad he fixed it. I'm glad he's playing better now.
I'm not.
You're such a Matthew Fitzpatrick
I don't
hater.
like Matthew Fitzpatrick.
What do you not like about him?
Because he's English, man. I like the American guys.
Just like the American guys, man.
I do. I'm a homegrown boy here. So
I didn't like that he put with the flag stick in. I think that's kind of weird.
yeah, I've noticed that even when you and I are out playing, you like to pull it quite a bit.
Yeah, I do. The
Is
hole
it
looks
something
bigger.
with the eye?
Yeah,
the hole looks bigger.
Yeah.
It gives you a better target. Mm-hmm. See, I could go either way, pulling it or leaving it in. It doesn't matter to me.
I don't like play for a score that often, right?
Sure.
Like I'm not like trying to play as best
Try
as
to
I
go
can every
shoot
single
70,
time. So I
right.
don't really care unless I'm like putting for birdie or something.
Sure.
And I care a little bit more.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, Matthew Fitzpatrick, he's finally hitting the driver he's supposed to now.
With the proper weight in his driver, or without a weight in his driver.
Right.
So that'll be good for him.
I can't believe that.
That's
How do you forget that
I
of
don't
all
know.
things?
Dude, if he's kept track of every single shot like we know, like do you think he's got just like books and books of shots that he's hit?
Yeah.
Because like I've heard like he even keeps track of like shots that he goes like with his buddies on the weekend, like he's not playing in tour events.
No kidding.
And he's like keeping track of those shots too.
How do you care?
And it's not
that
like
much?
I think it's like, if I'm not mistaken, I remember hearing it's like this club is yardage, right? And then like the weather conditions and like the course that he was at,
the wind
and the
and-
wind, and like that's a lot of details to keep.
That is a lot of details and a lot of paper. Like
I
remember
know, yeah.
in full swing, they like brought down the thing off of his closet, and there's just like 1,000 yardage books in there, just with it looks like chicken scratch on it,
I'm
just
sure,
like a
right.
bunch of writing.
Right,
All power to him. I mean, I wouldn't be that dedicated, even if I was that good at golf.
dude. Maybe we should make that our goal for next season, to track our golf shots for next season.
I feel like I would get so annoyed with that though.
I know.
Like just every single shot you're going in there and scribbling down on a piece of paper,
Right.
like exactly what you did.
Dude,
I don't know.
when I get to 18, I have a hard time remembering what I did on like hole number 9.
Exactly.
So like I would have to do it like between every shot, like actually making
Yeah, that's
making my
crazy.
notes.
Wow. Respect.
Fitzpatrick's probably going to win again this year.
I think so.
He started playing good without the weight.
I think so. He's such a good putter too. So I think, if he's just rolling it well one week and he's hitting it decent,
For sure.
I think he'll win for
And
sure.
Wyndham Clark's definitely going to get back onto the top of the leaderboard too.
I agree. I think him and Scotty are going to be battling it out
Yeah.
all year.
Yep.
So
We also have the Valspar coming up this weekend.
yeah, they're playing right now.
Are they? Yeah, that's right. It's Thursday,
It's
huh?
Thursday. I didn't even know it was on, and then I look up at the TV in the golf shop, and all of a sudden there's golf on.
At least somebody in our pro shop remembered golf was on.
Yeah. Shout out to Sam. Golf on.
I haven't even looked at the field.
I haven't either.
But usually the Valspar is pretty well,
Yeah.
attended one. Guys
I
like
think-
that one.
Guys will play this week and then kind of take next week off when they go to Valero. But there's actually quite a few in those fields too.
Yeah.
But then they go to Augusta, and obviously everyone's there. So
So we can't make any picks for this week.
yeah, I don't
'Cause
even
I
know
don't
who's
even know
playing.
who's
To be
playing.
honest with you,
Yeah.
that's all right though.
Sorry to our viewers at home. We should have done more research.
It's all right.
But we're finding it we've mentioned on here as we started this, and we're getting closer to the season. Like it's getting harder and harder to get all of us together,
For sure.
which we still plan on doing 100%.
100%. We just
Next
might be
week-
filming at midnight some weeks.
Next week, like we usually film on Thursday, so we're gonna film next week on Friday.
Friday morning.
But that's probably partly because I'm gone Thursday, and you
Correct.
got to close the shop Friday.
Yeah.
So it's
It's turning into
it's
quite the
it's gonna
quite the
go
thing.
crazy here.
No, we'll be good though.
Yeah.
As soon as the staff comes back and we'll be a little bit more set up, we'll be good to record.
For sure.
So
For
yeah.
sure.
Should we head to your maintenance practices?
My maintenance practices.
Bryce, we just cut a cup, or you just cut a cup.
Yeah, so cutting cups is like probably the most common maintenance practice that golf course maintenance guys do. other than mowing, right? Like everybody knows that we have to mow greens. So yeah, we cut a cup. Kind of our process for it is that we have a front, middle, back location, usually represented by a number. So like 1 is the front of the green, 2 is the middle of the green, 3 is the back of the green.
Sure.
And we have the video, and obviously Jacoby will pop the video up, but usually we just go out and we try to find a relatively flat area, but it's not always possible to find the flattest of areas. But it's kind of one of the cool things about cutting cups is that you get to set up the course the way that you want to do it, the way that we want to do it. Usually we only have guys that are familiar with the game of golf going out there to cut cups. One of the guys on our staff is an ex-superintendent, and he does a lot of cup cutting for us. So he was a superintendent over in Arvada for a really long time. Who we need to get on Swing Stories.
He needs to be a guest.
Because he would be an awesome guest.
He would be hilarious.
We got to get putting him on. So
for sure.
Shout out to Joe Putnam. But so yeah, we usually pick a spot on the green, whether it's the front, the middle, or the back. And then what you do is you jam your cup cutter in. I like to kind of throw it down and get a nice clean cut around the edge, as I'm sure we'll see in the video. And then you kind of take the top, 4 inches or so off. And then I put that back into my bucket. And then I'll take my cup cutter and I'll actually put it back in the hole. And then you kind of put it up against your hips and wiggle with it. Just do a little wiggle waggle.
Little dance.
And it goes down into the into the green. We have this little collar on the top of the cup cutter that's actually a depth gauge. So it gets us so that all of our cups are nice and consistent at the same depth all the way around. And then you take that and kind of pack it together with the handle on the cup cutter. And then you take that to your old plug and just jam that back in the hole. And then you grab your plug, that's actually the turf part, and then you can put that back into your old cup. And then I forget what happens after that.
You got to make sure the turf's good around.
So yeah, you take your screwdriver and you kind of pry up around the edges, and I like to maybe give it a little top dressing around the edges. And sometimes you have to dig out the plug or in the cup itself because it's either too high or too low. Even though we have that collar, that depth gauge,
sure,
it just never is consistent when you're going from hole to hole.
Right.
So you always got to do a little bit of adjusting. You don't want your plug too high because then it's going to get scalped. You don't want it too low, and then you're going to create a cereal bowl look to it. So get that just right. I usually squirt a little bit of water on there just to get it through the heat of the day. And then I usually, before we do any of that, at the old where we put our new cup, I'll put the cup in and put the flagstick in, and that's how we cut a new cup, man.
That was a lot of stuff.
There's a lot going on there for sure.
I think people realize, or don't realize, the amount of work it goes into just getting a golf course ready for the day. Because you do that every day, right?
We cut cups every day during the summer.
So you got to go around 18 different holes, plus your practice greens. You're probably doing what?
2 times a week.
2 times a week.
Tuesdays and Fridays usually.
So yeah, a lot of work just for something as simple as putting a flag in. So
right.
Yeah, for sure.
It takes a lot. Usually we have 2 guys go out in the morning, and one guy will go to the front, one guy will go to the back. Kind of call it your course setup. We'll move tee markers. One of our goals this year is to try to concentrate the tee markers more to the sides of our tee boxes.
Okay.
Because I've noticed some of our tee boxes are getting a little crowned in the middle, especially our par 3s.
Yeah.
Where your tee markers are in the middle, then people are filling divots, whether it's us or golfers, whoever, filling divots, and just over the years your tee box ends up having a crown to it.
Sure.
So we're going to kind of concentrate and spreading that wear out a little bit more and getting it off to the sides a little bit more. So that'll be kind of like a year-long process or a couple-year-long process, really. So, but yeah, you usually move tee markers, grab your trash. Like I was telling Hunter earlier, if I have a string trimmer with me, I'll weed whack them under some trees, around some signs, and then you can go and finally cut your cup. We figure that one guy to do 9 holes, probably about 2 hours worth of work there. So like you had pointed out, it takes about the same amount of time to play 9 as it does to cut 9 holes. So
that's interesting that it takes you the same amount of time to play 9 holes as it does to get it ready for the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty cool.
So that's one of the maintenance practices that we do. There's a lot more, and we'll highlight more as we get more into the summer.
There's a lot more.
Whether it's hand watering or top dressing or just even raking bunkers, mowing greens, all that good stuff. Fertilizer applications. We're probably going to do a fertilizer application not next week, but the week after, because we're aerating greens on April 9th. So we'll want to get, we'll want to stimulate some activity in our soil and get grass growing a little bit more. So, yeah, that's kind of the things that we have coming up.
Sweet.
There we go.
So sciencey.
It sounds sciencey, but it's not.
It's really not that crazy. But it's a lot of work goes into keeping a golf course as good as ours is. So all power to you and the team.
Thank you.
For sure.
It takes a team too. That's the most important part.
No kidding. All right. Is that it for Hooks
that's
Like
it.
this week?
We don't have a Fairway Chronicles this week because our tech guy's gone.
Yeah, he's the one that kind of gets all that ready for us.
He's got all of that on his computer. And
unfortunately, he's not here, but that's all right. Good episode. Got some tour talk in.
Yeah.
Talked about cutting a cup.
We'll see you guys next week.
Fix your dang ball marks.
Fix your dang ball marks, baby.
Thank you. Fix your dang ball mark.